राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोर जुगल किशोर। राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोर जुगल किशोर। राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोरा जुगल किशोर। राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोर जीवने मरणे गति आर नाही मोर। जीवने मरणे गति जीवने मरणे गति आर नाही मोर। जीवने मरा राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोर जुगल किशोर। राधा कालिंदी रकोले केली कदम्बे रवाना। कालिंदी रकोले केली रतन बेदीरा ऊपर वो सब दूजाना। रतन बेदीरा रतन बेदीरा ऊपर वो सब दूजाना। रतन बेदी राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोर जुगल किशोर। राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोर जुगल किशोर। जीवने मरणे गति आर नाही मोर। जीवने मरणे गति आर नाही मोर। श्याम गौरी अंगे दिवो चंदनेर गंधा। श्याम गौरी चामर ढोलाबो कबे हेरी मुख चंद्रा। चामर ढोलाबो चामर ढोलाबो कबे हेरी मुख चंद्रा। चामर ढोला राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोर जुगल किशोर। राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोर गथिया माला तीरमाला दीबो दोहार गले गथिया माला तीरमाला अधरे तुलिया दिबो कर्पूर तांबूले अधरे अधरे तुलिया दिबो कर्पूर तांबूले अधरे तुली राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोरा जुगल किशोर राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोरा जुगल किशोर जीवने मरणे गति यार नाही मोर जीवने मरणे गति ललिता विशाखादि जत सखी वृंदा ललिता विशाखादि आज्ञाय कोरिबो सेवा चरणारविंदा आज्ञाय कोरि आज्ञाय कोरिबो सेवा चरणारविंदा श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु दासेरनुदास श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु दासेरनुदास श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य सेवाभिलाष कोरे नरोत्तम दास सेवाभि सेवाभिलाष कोरे नरोत्तम दास सेवाभिलाष कोरे राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोह जुगल किशोर राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोह जुगल जीवने मरणे गति यार नाही मोर जीवने मरणे गति राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोर जुगल किशोर राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोर जुगल किशोर मोर जुगल किशोर मोर जुगल किशोर जुगल किशोर राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोर जुगल किशोर राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोर जुगल किशोर हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले सोऽयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामीति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna. So I offer my respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnavas who have assembled here today, this Saturday morning, to hear something about Sri Krishna, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and the literatures that are left by Khat Goswamis, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami of Vrindavan. So it's a very auspicious moment that in the morning time we sit together with devotees and read and hear about Krishna. This is one of the most auspicious things that can happen to a person. We were discussing last week that how Sri Adi Shankaracharya says that there are three things which are very rare. Anybody remembers what are the three things that are rare for a person to obtain? The three things Adi Shankaracharya says: Manushyatvam, Mumukshutvam, Mahapurusha Shantraya. That means to attain a human form of life is very rare. Rarer than that is to desire to go back home, back to Godhead. To desire to get out of this world, attain liberation is even rarer than that. And the rarest among all is to sit down in devotee association and read and hear about Sri Krishna. Read and hear Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita. This is the rarest of all things that can be obtained by a person. And this happens only when Krishna directly shows mercy upon a living entity. This is what Sri Adi Shankaracharya says. In the Puranas, it is said, Kiteshu kotishata janmashu manushatvam. The Puranas say, Kiteshu kotishata janmashu manushatvam. That a person, a living entity, after going through millions and millions of births of Kita Yoni, having millions and millions of births in insect Yoni species, one gets the opportunity to take birth in a human form of life. Kiteshu koti shata janmashu manushatvam tatrapi koti shata janmashu brahmanatvam. He says even after getting birth in a human form of life, to get mode of goodness in one's life, to attain brahmanatva, is even more rarer than that. So after millions and millions of Kita Yoni, one attains which Yoni? The human form of life. Then after millions and millions of human form of life, one attains some sattva in one's life. Sattva guna appears in one's life. Then he says, Tatrapi koti shata janmashu vaishnavatvam. After millions and millions of such birth in mode of goodness, one gets the opportunity to put tilak over his forehead, have kanthimala in his neck and become a Vaishnava, get Vaishnava Dikshit. This is after millions and millions of births of Brahmana Yoni. This is the rarest position of Vaishnava that a Vaishnava attains. And then he says, Tatrapi koti shata janmashu matparatvam. And then even after becoming Vaishnavas, there can be many kinds of Vaishnavas. There are three kinds of Vaishnavas, at least the Kanishta, Madhyam and Uttam Adhikari. So, after such millions of births of Vaishnava, one attains the fortune to come together in association of Vaishnavas, many Vaishnavas, and read and hear the glories of Sri Krishna. This is the rarest of all the things that can happen to a person in this human form of life. So we are the most fortunate people sitting here in Hyderabad, and we are reading something from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. So last time we were discussing, if you remember, that one of the most important aspects of Gaudiya Vaishnavism is that we worship the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is our nishtha. There are many Vaishnavas who worship the Lord, who worship Venkateshwara, who worship Lord Sri Ramachandra, who worship Vamana, Nrsimha, and everyone. And there are others who also worship Krishna. Among those who worship Krishna, like in Udupi they worship Krishna, there are others who worship Krishna with Srimati Radharani. So these are the parampara like Nimbarkis, they worship Sri Krishna with Srimati Radharani in Vrindavan, and there are others also in Vrindavan, Hit Harivansh and others, who worship Radha and Krishna together, right? But what is one speciality with Gaudiya Vaishnavism? We also worship Radha and Krishna, but we always approach the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna through Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is one speciality of Gaudiya Vaishnavas. And therefore, we never directly approach, never ever we directly approach the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna. We always approach the pastimes of Radha and Krishna through Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And therefore, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, you will find that these two pastimes, Mahaprabhu's pastimes and Sri Krishna's pastimes, both are intermixed together. They are told in such a way. We appreciate Radha and Krishna pastime the way Mahaprabhu appreciates Radha and Krishna pastime. This is the way to approach Radha and Krishna's pastimes. And therefore you will find Sri Narottam Das Thakur, he says at the end of the prayer we sung, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daser Anudasa. He says, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Dasen Anudasa. By becoming the servant of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we approach Radha and Krishna, and we approach and we ask for the eternal service of Radha and Krishna in Golok Vrindavan. So this is the method of approaching Radha and Krishna in Gaudiya Parampara. This is very, very special. And therefore, we have to approach through Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and not just through Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Daser Anudas means we have to approach through the servants of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That is through Rupa Goswami, through Sanatan Goswami, through Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, who have surrendered their entire lives in the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We approach Radha and Krishna through their literatures, through their words. This is how we should approach it. So, one of the foremost acharyas of Gaudiya Sampradaya is Srila Rupa Goswami. Sri Rupa Goswami has written many, many literatures explaining the pastimes, extolling the glories of Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan. So, one of such literature is called Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. How many of you have heard Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu? It's called Nectar of Devotion in English. Prabhupada has also translated that book in English, Nectar of Devotion. And there Sri Rupa Goswami establishes the principle of Rasa Tattva. How Bhakti is established as a Rasa. It's a very technical book, and a lot of pastimes are also given. So, Bhakti is established as Rasa. Therefore, Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, in his glorification of Sri Rupa Goswami, in his Madhurya Kadambani, he says, please repeat after me. Bhakti purvai rasam tantu rasam pashyed yadattadhi tam naumi satatam rupam nama priyajanam harehe. Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Pad, in glorification of Sri Rupa Goswami, he says, Bhakti purvai shrita tantu rasam pashyed yadattadhi tam naumi satatam rupam nama priyajanam hare. That bhakti, as a method to attain the Supreme Personality of Godhead was preached by many devotees in the past. Madhvacharya came, he preached about bhakti. Ramanujacharya, Sripad Ramanujacharya preached about bhakti, and there are many other Vaishnavas. Here also Annamaya preached about bhakti. Tyagaraja Swami preached about bhakti. So there are so many acharyas all over India. They all preached about bhakti. They all told that one should surrender unto the lotus feet of the Lord and completely give up one's life in surrendering in surrendering to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So everybody preached about bhakti. Bhakti purvai shritat rasam pashyedyadatadi. But by whose grace today we are able to see the pastimes of Krishna, the pastimes of Sri Vishnu, the pastimes of the Lord as rasa, that was given only by Sri Rupa Goswami. And therefore, I offer my respectful obeisances to that Sri Rupa Goswami, who is very dear to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Who is very dear to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I offer my respects to him, by whose mercy we are now able to understand bhakti as rasa. This is what Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says. And therefore, Sri Rupa Goswami has established the rasa tattva in his book called Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. There's another book after this. This is sequel to this book, you can say, which is called Ujjwal Neelamani. And in Ujjwal Neelamani, Sri Rupa Goswami further develops upon the Bhakti Rasa, which he has already established in the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. And there, Sri Rupa Goswami deals with only Madhur Rati. There he only deals with devotees who have some attraction towards Krishna, in Madhur Rati. Especially he deals with the gopis of Vrindavan. There are many devotees in Vrindavan who have different emotions, different ratis, bhava towards Krishna. But in Ujjwal Neelamani, Sri Rupa Goswami only deals with gopis of Vrindavan and what is their bhava towards Krishna. So, in this way, in Ujjwal Neelamani, when Sri Rupa Goswami is explaining the emotions of gopis towards Krishna, he explains that how there are different kinds of gopis who have different types of emotion towards Krishna. And then he reaches at the pinnacle of that love. Describing the love towards Krishna, he reaches to the pinnacle of the love of Krishna, which is the love of Srimati Radharani. This is the love of Srimati Radharani. This is pinnacle of love towards Krishna. And there he explains this love is called Mahabhav. What is it called? Mahabhav. Mahabhav is the topmost aspect of love that exists only in Srimati Radharani. Mahabhav exists in the gopis, but there is one certain aspect of Mahabhav which is only present in the heart of Radharani. And this is the Mahabhav that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to taste when he appeared in Navadvip. He is Krishna who is desiring to taste the love of Srimati Radharani. And which love he is wanting to taste? He is wanting to taste that most exalted aspect of love which was tasted by only Srimati Radharani in Vrindavan. This is the love that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to taste. And that love we had discussed, there are two characteristics of that love. Brahmamaya Cheshta and Pralapamaya Vad. In this Mahabhav state of love, Srimati Radharani becomes completely illusioned. This is one of the characteristics of this love. So please don't understand, this is not like a material illusion. This is some spiritual illusion that happens. And this is called Brahmamaya Cheshta. Please repeat. Yes, this is Brahmamaya Cheshta. That means he becomes completely illusioned. Some transcendental illusion captures Srimati Radharani. And the second aspect of this Mahabhav is called Pralapamaya. Please repeat. Pralapamaya means she starts speaking deliriously. Just as when Uddhav visited Vrindavan to give the message that Krishna had given to Uddhav, when Uddhav met Srimati Radharani was standing in Vrindavan. She was looking at a Brahmara which was moving around here and there. And in some transcendental illusion, pramad, she started thinking that this Brahmara is the Doot that Krishna has sent from Mathura. He is that messenger who has come to give message from Krishna. Now, is the Brahmara, can the Brahmara ever become a Duta? Can he become a messenger who can deliver some message? No. But in illusion, although Uddhava is standing nearby, she started thinking that this Brahmara, this bumblebee is the messenger of Krishna. This is called Brahmamaya Cheshta. And Pralapamaya means seeing the Brahmara, she started singing Madhupati tava bandho mas preshangrim sapatnya kucha vilolita mala kumkumashma shrubhirnaha. She started saying to that Brahmara, Madhupati tava bandho, you are the messenger of Krishna, and I know, just as Krishna is a cheater, you are also a cheater. Don't touch my lotus feet. This is how she started speaking to Brahmara. Now, any sane person, will he talk to a bumblebee? Have you ever seen any sane person talking to a bumblebee? No. This is called complete madness. And this is why it is called Viraha Unmad. This Dasha of Srimati Radharani is called Viraha Unmad. In this, there are two characteristics, Brahmamaya Cheshta and Pralapamaya. These are the two aspects of Radharani's love that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to taste in Navadvip. And to taste this love, he appeared in Navadvip, shifted to Jagannath Puri, and when he is in Jagannath Puri, he sees some shrubs, he sees some trees or some place which has many trees. He feels, oh, this is Vrindavan. He goes into Radharani's emotion and he starts tasting this two aspect of love that we had discussed. So how does it taste? How he tastes that love? We were discussing last time that how Mahaprabhu one time he came to a particular garden. He saw there were many trees and he started thinking that I am searching for Krishna. He saw Krishna in front of him. He wanted to catch Krishna. He ran away, but he still couldn't find him. The Krishna who was present in front, he disappeared. He vanished from that place. Mahaprabhu fell down in ecstasy. He fainted on ground. Ramananda Rai and Swarup Damodar, they come together and they started asking Mahaprabhu that what has happened to him? What has happened to you? What has happened? Mahaprabhu started saying to Ramananda Rai, oh Ramananda Rai, he started saying to Ramananda Rai in the thinking that Ramananda Rai is Vishakha and thinking himself to be Radharani, Brahmamaya Cheshta. See, the same aspect of Brahmamaya Cheshta is visible in Mahaprabhu. Like Radharani becomes illusioned, here Mahaprabhu is illusioned. Some transcendental illusion. Where he is thinking, I am Radha, and this Ramananda Rai is Vishakha. And he started saying to Vishakha, oh Sakhi, when will I have darshan of that Madan Mohan who gave me darshan on the bank, near the Kadamba Vriksha? When will I have darshan? When will I behold that Krishna again? So all of you remember, now you got back all that we had discussed last week, right? So this is how Mahaprabhu is tasting Radharani's love. And in that ecstatic mood of tasting Radharani's love, he starts singing this verse that we were discussing. Okay. Yeah, so we will recite this verse again and then we will discuss what was left out. So please repeat after me. Navam Budala Sadyutir Navatadin Manogyambaraha Suchitra Murali Sphura Charadamanda Chandrananaha Mayura Dalabhushitaha Subhagatarahara Prabhaha Same Madana Mohanaha सखितनोति नेत्र स्पृहा. Yeah. Is this what some loose connection? So this is any of you who have mobile phone, you can actually take it out. This verse is from Chaitanya Charitamrita Antalila, chapter 15, text 63. So Mahaprabhu is saying here, whom he is speaking to? He is speaking to Ramananda Rai, who is standing in front of him, thinking Ramananda Rai to be Vishakha. In this way he is speaking. So the last line says, Sa me madana mohana sakhitanoti netra spriham. Oh Sakhi. Sakhi is a Sambodhan. Sakhi he is calling Ramanand Rai and Swarup Damodar to be that Sakhi. He's saying, Oh Sakhi, Sa me madana mohana, that madana mohana who gave me darshan just now is increasing the desire of my heart to see him, to behold him again. Who is that Madan Mohana? The three lines explain the beauty of that Madan Mohana. That Madan Mohana who has Nava Ambuda Lasadyuti. That means that Madan Mohana who has beauty of the newly formed cloud. His bodily lustre resembles the lustre of the newly formed cloud. This is Madan Mohana's form. Navatadit Manogyambara. His Ambara means his Pitambara. Krishna, who is wearing the Pitambara, he is having that Pitambara. That Pitambara appears to Mahaprabhu as if this is like a new lightning appearing in the sky. The lightning is so bright and effulgent. So similarly, Krishna's Pitambara is bright and effulgent. It is so bright and effulgent that the gopis' mind get attracted to that Pitambara. You know, when Krishna returns after herding the cows in Vrindavan. No, Krishna, we all know there are Ashtakalya Leelas in Vrindavan. Krishna, morning he gets up, Mother Yashoda somehow or other wakes Krishna up. Then Krishna is told, now you have to go to the forest. Krishna, after he takes his breakfast, he goes to the forest. And when he goes to the forest, and when he returns back to Vrindavan, the gopis who were anticipating of Krishna's return, they were waiting for Krishna. When is he going to come back again? When we will have again darshan of that Shri Krishna? When we will see the face of that Krishna? The gopis, when they see Krishna finally, they get attracted so much. They start talking among themselves. And sometimes these gopis, they feel very much depressed. They say that, oh Sakhi, we could not even see Krishna properly. When Krishna was returning after 8-9 hours of herding cows, we have not seen Krishna. When Krishna was returning, when Krishna was standing in front of us, we wanted to see Krishna, we wanted to taste his beauty, but we just couldn't taste his beauty. Our eyes got fixed up in his Morapankha, in his Pitambara. One place their eyes get fixed up and they start feeling that we couldn't even take proper darshan of Shri Krishna. This is the gopis. This is how the gopis feel. Goraja viraje bhala lah lahi vana mala aage gaiya pache gwala gave mredu tanari. This is how a devotee in Vrindavan describes. A devotee, Ras Khan, was a Muslim devotee in Vrindavan. His name was Sayyid Ibrahim Khan. Once he saw the beautiful form of Krishna, some picture of Krishna. He was in a Muslim family and he was with kings. He used to stay with the kings. He went to eat pan at one place. You know, all pan, I don't know, they don't eat so much pan here in South India. In Varanasi, in Delhi, they eat a lot of pan. So he went to eat this betel nut at one place and there he saw one picture of Krishna. Prema Devaki Chavi Lakhi Bhay Miya Ras Khan. And he left everything just to find that one beautiful boy. He came to Vrindavan, stayed in Govardhan, took Diksha, became a Vaishnava, and he writes about the beauty of Krishna returning from the forest. He says, Goraja viraje bhala. When Krishna returns from the forest, his bhala means his forehead is decorated with Goraja. Why Goraja? Goraja means the dust from the hoof prints of the cows. Goraja viraje bhala laha lahi vanamala. And he wears a very beautiful vanamala. This is how Krishna is described. Aage gaiya pache gwala. When he is moving, the cows are in front of Krishna, the gwalas, the sakhas of Krishna are behind. And because the cows are moving in front, the dust of Vrindavan comes up in the air and that decorates the forehead of Sri Krishna. This is Krishna's beauty. Goraja viraje bhala laha lahi vanamala आगे गैया पाछे ग्वाल गावे मृदु तानरी ऐसी धुनी बांसुरी की मधुर मधुर जैसी बंक चितवनी मृदु मंद मुसुकानीरी कदम्ब विटप के निकट तट निके तट अट चढ़ी चाही पीत पट फहरानी री. The gopis, they start describing among themselves that, oh Sakhi, now Krishna is coming. Look at the beauty of Krishna. Kadamba vitapa ke nikat tata nike tata. He's standing on the banks of Kadamba. His pita pata, his pitambara is flowing in the wind of this Vrindavan. Look at the beauty of Krishna. Oh Sakhi, now that our heart, which has been waiting for this Krishna, waiting for the darshan of Krishna, now he is finally coming. We will properly have darshan of Sri Krishna. This is how the gopis plan to take darshan of Sri Krishna. This is how they plan it. But when finally Krishna arrives in front of them, what happens? They become bewildered. The beauty is such, because we just read, Navatadit manogya ambara. Ambara means his pitambara. His pitambara is so it's so bright and effulgent that it attracts the mind of the gopis. The gopis want to take darshan of the face of the Lord. They want to completely drink the beauty of the Lord, but because their mind gets absorbed only in Pitambara. The Pitambara which is flowing in the wind of Vrindavan, the gopis say, oh Sakhi, what happened when Krishna was in front of us? My mind started flowing in the Pitambara itself. I couldn't even see the face of Krishna. This is my condition, oh Sakhi. I couldn't even take darshan of Sri Krishna. So this is how Krishna's beauty is manogya. It attracts the mind of a person in such a way that the person wants to fully absorb oneself in the beauty of Krishna, but just one feature of Krishna's beauty completely enamors a person. This is what happens to the gopis of Vrindavan. And in the same way, Mahaprabhu is experiencing the beauty of Sri Krishna, who appeared in front of Kadamba Vriksha, and he is saying, Navatadit manogyambara. This is Krishna's beauty. Suchitra murali sphurat charada manda chandranana. Suchitra murali sphurat. Oh, Krishna's anana. Anana means his lotus face is like that of Chandra. Is like that of full bright moon of the autumn season. We discussed why it is autumn season's moon. And on that he is having this beautiful murli that he is holding in a way that attracts the mind of all the Vrindavan Vasis. So this is how he is holding. Mayura Dala Bhushita. He's having the Mayura Dala Bhushita and he's having a pearl garland over his neck. Sa me Madana Mohana. That Madana Mohana. Sakhi, O Sakhi, Tanoti Netra Spriha. He is increasing the desire of my heart to see him, to behold him again. And in description, now as Mahaprabhu is experiencing this beauty in the mood of Radharani, he starts speaking deliriously. How he starts speaking? He says, Navaghana snigdha varna dalitanjana chikkana Navaghana snigdha varna Indivara nindi sukomal Indivara nindi ಇಂದಿವರ ನಿಂದಿಸು ಕೋಮಾ ಇಂದಿವರ ನಿಂದಿ जिनी उपमान गण हरे सबर नेत्र मना कृष्ण कांति परम प्रभाल कृष्ण कांति परा कृष्ण कांति परम प्रभाल. So he says Navaghana Snigdha Varna. Same description we had done last Sunday. Navaghana Snigdha Varna. Krishna's Varna. Varna means his bodily color is like that of newly formed cloud. Dalita Anjana Chikkana. And his bodily silkiness, we had discussed. It is like that of a Dalita Anjana. Anjana means the kajal. It's like that of kajal. So if you have touched kajal, how soft it is. The hands, the fingers slips through it. If you have ever touched. So this is how Krishna's softness, his slipperiness, his silkiness of the body is. Indivara nindisu komal, and his softness of the body is like that of a new blue blossomed lotus. So if you have ever touched blossom lotus, go and touch blossom lotus and find out the softness of that lotus. And then come back to this verse and imagine how soft Krishna's body must be. Then he says, Jini Upamanagada. As Mahaprabhu is describing Krishna's beauty, he's comparing Krishna's beauty with different things. He says, Jini Upamanagada. Oh, Krishna has won over all the Upamanas. There can be no comparison done. No comparison is enough to describe Krishna's beauty. This is Krishna's body. And therefore, all these comparisons that I am doing, it is simply a waste of time. Krishna has won over all the comparisons. Krishna's Kanti is Parama Prabala. Krishna's Kanti, his beauty, defies all comparison. It is unlimited beauty Krishna has. Then he says, Kah sakhi ki kari upaya kah कह सखी की करी उपाय कृष्णाद्भुत बलाहक मोर नेत्र चातक ना देखी पिया से मरी जाए ना देखी पिया से ना देखी पिया से मरी जाए ना देख. So now he's saying, see, you see the Sambodhan here. He's calling out. Mahaprabhu is talking, but he's telling to Ramananda Rai, oh Sakhi. Kaha Sakhi, Kikari Upaya, what Upaya I should do? What should I do to get darshan of that Krishna again? Krishna Adbhuta Balahaka. Now this is very special. Please pay attention. You see, before Mahaprabhu compared Krishna's body with cloud. We all saw that Krishna's Kanti or his bodily lustre matches with the lustre of the cloud. But now he is saying Krishna is a cloud. You see, there is a difference. Bodily lustre being cloud is one thing. Bodily lustre being compared to the lustre of cloud is one thing. Here Mahaprabhu is saying, oh Sakhi, Krishna is a cloud. He's not comparing Krishna's body with cloud. He's saying Krishna is a cloud. So please remember this. Krishna is being compared to cloud. Krishna is a cloud. But he is not just some cloud, O Sakhi. He's saying Krishna Adbhuta Balahaka. He's not just some ordinary cloud moving here and there in the sky. No, 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 no. He is some special cloud, you see. So he is that cloud, and my eyes, oh Sakhi, my eyes are like that of Chataka bird. That Chataka which does not drink any water from any other water source, it drinks water only from the clouds. So my eyes only desire to see that Krishna who is a cloud. So Mahaprabhu is saying Krishna is cloud and my eyes are Chataka bird which only wants to drink the beauty of Krishna, no other beauty. You see, in Vrindavan the gopis feel, gopis bhava is such that even a momentarily separation from Shri Krishna, they start cursing Brahma. They start cursing Brahma. They start saying to Brahma that Brahma, does he not know how to create? What kind of engineer he is? Does he not know how to create? He has given us the eyelids. No, if Brahma was intelligent, he should have seen that these gopis who stay in Vrindavan, they take darshan of Shri Krishna. Why should I give eyelids to these Braj gopis? Those Braj gopis who take darshan of Shri Krishna, which is the real fruit of having this eye, Brahma has given eyelids to these Braj gopis. Does he not know that these eyelids create such disturbance in having darshan of Shri Krishna? He's such a fool that he has given us the eyelids. So imagine the kind of prema, the kind of love gopis have, and the kind of intensity of love, intensity of darshan they have, the anticipation of darshan they have towards Krishna. So imagine the intensity of love these gopis have. In blinking of their eyelids, they start cursing Brahma that this Brahma is a fool, he does not know how to create. So imagine how eager these gopis must be to have darshan. And one time, one devotee was very beautifully telling, you see, as especially here in the temple, when the curtain opens up during the Mangala Arati or during the Darshan Arati, we find sometimes devotees running. Sometimes they're becoming late. They're running to see darshan of Shri Krishna, and that reminds of the gopis of Vrindavan. Now, how gopis would run to see darshan, to have darshan of Shri Krishna. Actually, we should have such eagerness to have darshan. And now the Lord is going to come. He's going to give darshan to all the devotees. How eager we must be to have darshan of Shri Krishna. How eager we must be to get ready and to come in front of the Lord to have darshan of Shri Krishna. So in this way, the gopis, they start cursing Brahma that Brahma does not know how to create. Imagine, who can curse Brahma? Our Param Acharya. So this is how the gopis are eager to see darshan of Shri Krishna. So Mahaprabhu, in the same mode, he is saying, Krishna is cloud and my eyes are that Chataka bird, O Sakhi, na dekhi piyase mari jaye. Not seeing Krishna, my eyes are dying out of thirst. We described last time how the Chataka dies out of thirst. If you remember. In Vrindavan, there is one poet. He very beautifully writes about Krishna. He says, Bavari ye akhiyan jari jaye jo savaro chhod niharat goro. This is in Hindi, if any of you can understand. He says, वो बावरी आँखियां जल जाए जो सावरे श्याम सुंदर को छोड़ करके किसी गोरी स्त्री को निहारते हैं. So this is the intensity of love devotees have in having darshan of Shri Krishna. This is the intensity they have. And in the same way, Mahaprabhu is tasting darshan of Shri Krishna. He's saying, my eyes, O Sakhi, they are dying out of thirst not seeing Krishna. Because Krishna is not present in front of me, my eyes are dying out of thirst. I want to have darshan of that Krishna again. Please tell me, O Sakhi, ki kari upaya, what upaya, what should I do, where should I go, where should I run to find that Krishna again? Where is that Madan Mohana? Sa me Madana Mohana sakhitanoti netraspriham. So till this point we had discussed last time. Now what Mahaprabhu is saying ahead. Let's repeat. So please sing. Saudamini Pitambara Sthira nahe nirantara Sthira nahe nirantara Muktahara patibhal Muktahara Muktahara patibhal Muktahara patibha इंद्रधनुषिखी पाखा ऊपरे दिया छे देखा इंद्रधनुषिखी आरधनु वैजयन्ती मालारधनु आरधनु वैजयन्ती माला So now he says, so you see now Krishna is being described by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the mood of Srimati Radharani. And Mahaprabhu has said that Krishna is Adbhuta Balahaka. Krishna is a special cloud. So please remember, Krishna is a special cloud. So as soon as you see Krishna, imagine the form of Krishna and imagine a form of a cloud and compare it. Keep these two forms together so that you can easily understand what is Krishna's beauty and how is Mahaprabhu seeing Krishna. He says, Saudamini Pitambara. Krishna who is a cloud and Krishna who wears the Pitambara. So imagine the three places Krishna is bent. He's standing with his Murali, his Madan Mohana, who is having the lustre of a newly formed cloud. He is being compared to the cloud. And here is a cloud. So Krishna, who is having this beautiful form and he is wearing this Pitambara, to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the mood of Radharani, that Pitambara appears like that of a lightning in the cloud. Do you get it? Just like there is lightning in the cloud, when Mahaprabhu sees Krishna, he says, oh, Krishna is a cloud and there is that lightning. The Pitambara is the lightning. Then he says, Thira nahe nirantara, but Sakhi, let me tell you, this is some Adbhuta cloud, right? This is not some ordinary cloud. Now in ordinary cloud, if you see lightning, for how many seconds can you behold lightning? For a moment? For 1 second that lightning appears and it vanishes. But Mahaprabhu is saying, no, you see, this is some Adbhut cloud. Krishna is some special cloud. Here the lightning is ever present and always present. Because Krishna is always wearing the Pitambara. So the lustre and the beauty of lightning always appears in this cloud. This lightning is ever present in this cloud. This is some special cloud. Krishna is Adbhuta Balahaka. And that is always attracting our minds, O Sakhi. Then he says, Muktahara Baka Patibhal. And just as when you have cloud, when you have lightning, sometimes in the clouds, in the sky, you will find that there are herons, white herons. White herons, in Hindi we call them bagula. I don't know what you call them here. So white herons, they fly in the sky, you have seen in the clouds. So these white herons, they create an arc like this. There is a triangular arc that is created in this fashion. They fly in the sky. You have seen that. So Mahaprabhu, who is tasting the beauty of Sri Krishna, he is saying Krishna is that special cloud. In that special cloud, the lightning is ever present. And just as in the clouds you will find a string of herons having this arc, when Mahaprabhu is seeing Krishna, here he is seeing that beautiful white pearl that Krishna is wearing on his chest. He is saying these are that herons flying in the sky. So completely enchanted by Krishna's beauty, he starts comparing Krishna with the cloud. And all the symptoms that appear in the cloud, Mahaprabhu is seeing everything in Krishna, in the mood of Radharani. He is saying, you see that Krishna which wears on his chest, the white pearl which appears so bright and effulgent, this is like the baka, like the herons flying in the sky. So Krishna is the cloud. In this cloud there is lightning ever present, and the herons are flying here. This is the description of Krishna's beauty. Then he says, Indra dhanu sikhi pakha upare diya upare diya che dekha. He says, you see, in the cloud there is one more thing that you will find. In the rainy season, in the cloud, you will find that there is sometimes the rainbow appears, right? So Mahaprabhu tasting the beauty of Sri Krishna, he is saying, here also there is rainbow. In cloud like Krishna, there is one rainbow. What is that rainbow? Krishna, who is wearing the Sikhi Pakha, he is wearing that peacock feather which has different colors. To Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in the mood of Radharani, that Sikhi Pakha appears to Mahaprabhu as a rainbow. But then Mahaprabhu says, you see, Sakhi, this cloud is special, I had told you. In a cloud, in the rainy season, how many rainbows can you see in the cloud? At max one, maybe two. Maybe. In rare cases, you will find two rainbows. And when you have two rainbows in the sky, one will have full brightness and another will be faded. But here, Mahaprabhu is saying this is some special cloud. Here there are two rainbows. One rainbow is the Sikhi Pakha and another is the Vaijayanti Mala which Krishna is wearing. And all these two, both these rainbows are fully bright and effulgent in this cloud. In this way, Krishna's beauty is being tasted by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. मुरलीर कलध्वनि मधुर गर्जन सुनी मुरलीर कलध्वनि वृंदावने नाचे मयूर चाहे वृंदावने नाच वृंदावने नाचे मयूर चाहे अकलंक पूर्ण कला लावण्य ज्योत्स्न झलमल अकलंक पूर्ण कल लावण्य ज्योत्स्न चित्रचन्द्रेर्ताः ते उदये चित्रचन्द्रेर्ताः चित्रचन्द्रेर्ताः ते उदय So now, please remember, Krishna is a cloud. So in that cloud, what all we saw? In Krishna-like cloud, the Pitambara is a ever-fresh present lightning, right? Then what all we saw? We saw the Bakapati, the string of herons flying in the sky is Krishna's pearl garland that he is wearing, right? And there are two rainbows in this Krishna-like cloud. One is the Shikhi Pakha and another is the Vaijayanti Mala Krishna is wearing. Continuing with that, Mahaprabhu again tasting the beauty. This is delirious behavior. The two aspects of Radharani's love we discussed. Brahmamaya Cheshta and Pralapamaya Mad. Who speaks like this? Have you ever seen any sane person speaking like this? This is Pralapa. This is madness. This is transcendental madness in love of Krishna. And this is therefore Mahaprabhu continues. Oh Sakhi, in this Krishna cloud, Muralira Kala Dhvani Madhura Garjana Suni. Just as when the clouds appear in the sky, these clouds they rumble, they create the sound, right? The clouds create some sound. So similarly, this Krishna is that cloud who is having a murali with which he creates the rumbling sound. this is how Mahaprabhu is tasting. So this rumbling sound that comes from the cloud, Mahaprabhu is seeing Krishna and he is saying that murali is that rumbling cloud. And he says, just as when the clouds rumble, when the clouds create some sound, what happens? The Mayura, that means the peacocks, they become excited that now it's going to rain and they start dancing in ecstasy. So Mahaprabhu is saying in the bhava of Radharani that when this Krishna cloud, when he plays his flute, Shri Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Devi ki jai, Shri Lakshmi Nrsimha Dev Bhagwan ki jai, Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So Mahaprabhu is saying that when this cloud, when he creates sound, just as the cloud when it creates the sound, the peacocks they start dancing. Similarly, the Mayura of Vrindavan, the peacocks of Vrindavan, when they see Krishna from a distance and when they see Krishna playing flute, they get bewildered at thinking whether this is a cloud which has come down from the sky or whether this is Krishna. And because they get bewildered, and when they hear Krishna's flute, they also start dancing in this bewilderment, thinking that Krishna is a cloud. This is how he is saying. Akalanka Purna Kala Lavanya Jyotsna Jhalamala Chitra Chandrera Tahate Uday. And just as when you have clouds, when there is rainy season, the cloud is rumbling and there are herons in the sky, there is rainbow coming up. In this state, you will never find moon fully bright and effulgent. Have you ever seen that there is full cloudy space, the cloud is rumbling, it is about to rain, there is rainbow and at the same time there is moon? Have you ever seen that? This is some special cloud, I had already told you, right? So Mahaprabhu is saying some special cloud. Here even the moon is full bright and effulgent, it is also present. And what is that moon? That moon is the face of Sri Krishna. This is some special cloud. So that full bright effulgent moon of the Sharad Ritu is also present. Some special cloud. Imagine the beauty of Krishna, the way Mahaprabhu is tasting. A cloud which is rumbling, which has rainbows, which has herons flying in the sky, and then you have full moon also present. This is Adbhut Alankar in which Mahaprabhu is explaining Krishna's beauty. Chitra Chandrera Tahate Udaya. And in this way, full bright moon is also present in Krishna's body. So Krishna's entire body is compared to the cloud. The Pitambara is the lightning. The Morapankha, the Vaijayanti Mal is the rainbow. The pearl garland is the herons. And his face is the moon. And just as the cloud rains, right? This Krishna cloud also rains. So Mahaprabhu says how this cloud rains. You see, one special characteristic about Morapankha, the peacock feather. Why Krishna wears peacock feather only? In the Bhagavatam, it is described Kaka Paksha Dhara Kvachit. Sometimes, very rarely, Krishna also wears the feather of crow. Because actually, all the living entities in Vrindavan are transcendental. They are Krishna's parikar. So Krishna sometimes takes some feather of a crow and he wears it, but rarely. Generally, Krishna wears which feather? Peacock feather. Why Krishna wears peacock feather? Shripad Vallabhacharya in his commentary he describes. He gives the reason. He says, in Vrindavan, when the Vrindavan peacocks, they see the beauty of Krishna and they think this Krishna is cloud, they start dancing. And when they start dancing, seeing the beauty of Krishna out of ecstasy, tears starts coming out of these eyes of these peacocks. And the she peacock, the female peacocks, drinks the ecstatic tears coming out of the male peacock, and in this way she becomes pregnant and she gives birth to another peacock. So because the peacocks in Vrindavan are not born out of material semen and mixing of material objects, because they are born out of the tears which are born out of the ecstatic ecstasy by seeing Krishna, therefore Krishna wears peacock feather. Therefore Krishna wears peacock feather on his head. This is what Sripad Vallabhacharya says in his commentary. So peacocks are very, very special to Krishna. One poet, he says that, you see, from an external point of view, if you see, the peacocks have all kinds of disqualification. He says, Tanu vichitra kayara vachan, ahi ahara van ghor. He says, how many disqualifications this peacock has? Tanu vichitra. First of all, it doesn't look like a bird, it doesn't look like an animal. Tanu vichitra. Its body is some different kind of a body. Kaya Ravachan, when it speaks, it looks like somebody is very fearful and he's speaking. You have heard peacock's voice. It feels like somebody is very fearful. So, Tanu Vichitra Kaya Ravachan. And what the peacock eats, do you know what the peacock eats? Snakes. Ahi Ahar. Who eats snakes, ba? Ahi Ahar. And it lives in one ghor. It lives in dark, dense forest. So Tanu Vichitra Kayara Vachan Ahi Ahara Van Ghor. But then he says, Tate Hari Bhai Pakshadhar, Tate Kahasab More. Because Hari has become Pakshadhar. Pakshadhar means because Hari has taken peacock's side. One meaning of Pakshadhar is this. And Pakshadhar, another meaning is that because Hari has taken the peacock feather on his head, everybody in the world is saying more, more, more. That means mine, mine, mine. So very beautifully he says. So peacocks are very important. And therefore Krishna wears peacock feather on his head. Yeah. So can we go for 5 more minutes? Yeah. Okay. We'll just finish this, what Mahaprabhu is saying. So how this Krishna cloud, just as a cloud rains, this Krishna cloud also rains. How it rains, he says. Leela Amrita Varishane Sinche Chauda Bhuvane Sinche Chauda Bhuvane हे न मेघ जाबे देखा दिला हे न मेघ जाबे हे न मेघ जाबे देखा दिला दुर्दैव झंझा पवने दुर्दैव मेघ नील अन्य स्थाने मेघ नील अन्य मारे चातक पीते न पाईला मारे चातक मारे चातक पीते न पाईला So now Mahaprabhu is again telling about Krishna's beauty. This is Madan Mohan's beauty. He's saying this special cloud, Madan Mohana, just as a cloud rains, this cloud also rains. What does it rain? It rains Leela. Krishna who performs different kinds of pastimes. He attracts different kinds of devotees in many different ways. This is Krishna's Leela. So this Megha is also raining Leela. And just as when the cloud rains, what happens? The forest, the trees, the creepers, all the latas, all of them, they are nourished. In this way, this cloud, Krishna cloud, it rains and Siche Chauda Bhuvane, it nourishes the entire 14 worlds. Everybody is discussing this Krishna's pastimes and getting nourished in their hearts. This is how Mahaprabhu is explaining. This is Krishna's cloud. Krishna, who is raining his pastimes. There are hundreds and millions of ways to describe one pastime of Krishna. It is said the Lord Ananta, the Sheshanag, that Lord with his millions and millions of mouth, he is trying to describe the millions and quadrillions of Krishna's pastimes in millions and quadrillions of ways, but he has still not finished it. He cannot finish Krishna's pastimes. So in this way, this cloud Krishna is continuously raining his pastimes and nourishing the entire 14 worlds. Hena Megha Jabe Dekha Dila. That Megha, when will that Megha give darshan to me again? So imagine, Krishna is that Megha, and Mahaprabhu's eyes is like that of what? Chataka. So that Chataka is coming back again in the description. So Mahaprabhu is saying that, oh Sakhi, my eyes are that Chataka who desire to see and drink the beauty of that Megha. This is the only desire of the Chataka, right? But Durdaiva Jhanjha Pavane, it is my Durdaiva, it is my misfortune. Just as a Chataka, imagine a Chataka who has been thirsty for years. He has not got water from the cloud. And finally, the cloud has appeared in the sky. The cloud is rumbling. It is about to rain. But some wind comes and takes away the cloud away from that Chataka. How will that Chataka feel? It will feel devastated. Similarly, Mahaprabhu is saying, it is my misfortune. It is my misfortune that cloud was in front of me. I saw the beauty of Krishna, and now that I want to drink and taste the beauty of that Krishna has disappeared. It is my Durdaiva. It is my misfortune. So in this way, Mahaprabhu, who is tasting the beauty in the form of Radharani, in the mood of Radharani, is feeling just as Krishna gets separated from Radharani because of some reason, because of Leela. Therefore, Mahaprabhu is feeling that because of my own misfortune, I am not able to taste the love of the beauty of Madan Mohan. So you see, there are two aspects of this. The misfortune in case of Radharani, it is not a misfortune. It is Leela that separates Radharani from Shri Krishna. In case of Mahaprabhu, it is the Leela Shakti which separates Radha and Krishna, right? So that the love awakens. The intensity of love rises in the heart. This is the main understanding. But for us, for sadhakas, it is actually our Durdaiva that we cannot taste the beauty of Shri Krishna. You see, what is the second verse of Shikshashtakam? Nam namakari bahudha nija sarva shaktis tatrarpita niyamitah smaranena kalah etadrishi tava kripa bhagavan mamapi durdaivami drishamiha janina nuragah. For sadhakas, we should see it like this. Why are we not able to taste the beautiful form of Madan Mohana? Why are we not able to taste the beautiful names, the transcendental names of the Lord? It is Durdaiva. Mahaprabhu is teaching us in his Shikshashtakam. Nam akari bahudha nija sarva shaktis. My Lord, you have millions and thousands of names. And in all those names, you have put all the potency. You have also removed all the rules and regulations for chanting the mantras. There are so many rules and regulations for chanting Vedic mantras. For your name, there is no rules and regulation. Durdaiva idrishamiha janinanuragaha. It is my Durdaiva only that even after receiving such mercy from you, even after having you in front of us, even after having the form of Madan Mohan in front of us, even after having the names given to us by the acharyas like Srila Prabhupada, who has spread the holy name all over the world, we are still not able to taste the nectar of the holy name. We are still not able to taste the nectar of Krishna's beauty. Why are we not able to taste it? It is Durdaiva. Durdaiva means past sinful activities. Tesham tvantagata papa jananam punya karmanam te dvanda moha nirmukta bhajate mam dridhavrata. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, only when the Durdaiva is removed, then only we can taste the beauty of, then only we can taste Krishna's beauty, his name, form, qualities, pastime. So for sadhakas, we should see like this. But for Mahaprabhu, it is not like that. It is not Durdaiva. It is Leela Shakti which has separated Krishna from Radharani. Punah kahe haya haya padha padha ram raya. Punah kahe haya haya. Kahe Prabhu Gadgad Akhyane. Kahe Prabhu Gadgad Akhyane. Ramananda padhe shloka. Ramananda Suni Prabhur harsha shoka. आपने प्रभु करे व्याख्याने. आपन करे आपने प्रभु करे व्याख्याने. So in this way, Mahaprabhu, when he is tasting the beauty of Madan Mohan and is describing to his Sakhi, Ramananda Rai, who is whom he is thinking to be Vishakha, Ramananda Rai and Swarupa Damodar, in this way, we had discussed last time, Mahaprabhu comes in 3 states. His bhava changes, shifts in 3 states. What is the first state? Bahya Dasha. The second is Antara Dasha. And the third is Antarbahya Dasha. Bahya Dasha means Mahaprabhu thinks himself to be a sannyasi. Antara Dasha, he completely thinks himself to be Radharani. And Antarbahya Dasha means it's a mix. So in this way, as Mahaprabhu initially he was telling Ramananda Rai Sakhi, and now he is telling Puna kahe padha padha Ram Rai padho padho aur padho. Tell me more, sing more verses. Kahe Prabhu Gadgada Akhyane. His voice falters. Mahaprabhu's voice in ecstasy, he falters. He tells Ramananda Rai, oh, enough of it. I am now getting so many ecstatic emotions in my heart. Please tell me more. Please tell me more about Krishna's beauty. Then as Ramananda Rai hears this request from Mahaprabhu, he starts singing another verse. Ramananda Padhe Shloka Suni Prabhura Harsha Shoka. As Mahaprabhu hears what Ramananda Rai sings, he has both Harsha and Shoka. Apane Prabhu Karena Vyakhyana. And in the same way, as previously Mahaprabhu says a verse, then deliriously starts describing Krishna's beauty. In the same way, this time Ramananda Rai here he chants one shloka from Srimad Bhagavatam describing the beauty of Madan Mohana, and then he goes on to explain the beauty of Madan Mohana. Mahaprabhu starts speaking deliriously. So in this way, Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna, who came to taste the most exalted aspect of love of Srimati Radharani, experiences the Mahabhav being with Ramananda Rai and Swarupa Damodar in Jagannath Puri. So another verse is coming up from here. Maybe devotees can go ahead at their home, open up Chaitanya Charitamrita, look at what is the beauty that Ramananda Rai this time is describing, and how Mahaprabhu is again deliriously goes into that spiral mode of experiencing the beauty of Krishna, and what is the beauty of Krishna that is being described by Mahaprabhu. So in this way, the same pastimes which are there in Vrindavan, the same pastimes, the same ecstasies which Radharani experiences by seeing Krishna, Krishna's beauty, how Krishna comes, how Krishna meets Radhika, how he does pastimes with the gopis in Vrindavan. All these pastimes, we approach these pastimes by approaching the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by approaching the lotus feet of the followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, like Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. And in this way, as Gaudiyas, we can truly appreciate what Radha Krishna pastime is. Please remember, we never jump to hear Radha Krishna pastimes directly. I had discussed even last time that all the Goswamis in Vrindavan who were the followers of Mahaprabhu, every day they would sit for 3 hours and discuss Chaitanya Leela, because Chaitanya Leela includes everything. It includes Mahaprabhu's pastimes and it includes Krishna's pastimes with Radharani and all the gopis in Vrindavan. So if we approach these pastimes through Mahaprabhu, we can relish it, we can experience the transcendental ecstatic emotions that Mahaprabhu wanted to give devotees who are the followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. श्री चैतन्य चरितामृत की जय, श्री कृष्णदास कविराज गोस्वामी पाद की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे, हरि हरि बोल, हरे कृष्णा, हरे कृष्ण, हरे. So if if I spoke something out of my adhikar, please forgive me. It is on the order of His Grace Madhu Gopinath Prabhu that I came here and tried to share something which our acharyas have given. There's nothing is mine here. It is all the works of the Goswamis, the acharyas, and very mercifully, Prabhupada has translated this work in English. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, in the first Adi Leela, 8th chapter, at one place, Srila Prabhupada says in his purport that there will be a time that the entire world will learn Bengali to read Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita and to relish Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. You see, I'm not a Bengali and I don't have any experience of Bengali previously. But it is because of Mahaprabhu's Leela, because the pastimes of Mahaprabhu's are described in Bengali in such beautiful payars, that although not a Bengali coming from an Hindi background, we still get that desire to learn Bengali and to relish it in its original language. And therefore, Prabhupada says that there will be a time this Chaitanya Charitamrita will become famous all over the world, and it has become famous. And even the foreigners will learn Bengali to relish Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita in its original language. So this is what Prabhupada's desire was. Maybe some of us, if we keep reading Chaitanya Charitamrita, we can learn the Bengali, and we can relish the Sanskrit slokas which are difficult to be understood, can be very easily understood through Bengali payars. Hare Krishna.